Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning. What is good? You're locked in. You know what it is. It's the Ronin Radio, fam. Yo, go ahead and repost this everywhere you can. If you're here on X, repost the stream. If you're here on YouTube, yo, welcome, bro. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're just waiting for Kage to pull up right now. Will be a moment's time and we'll get started, bro. But today, yo, I need you to respect the PAMP, okay? And let me tune back into my disco Pokemon tracks, all right? Yeah, just let me be a kid again. Thanks. Oh, Lord knows I'm having a good day with this tunes going. Yo, listen, we are locking in. All right, I'm going to start, bro. Kagi's on his way. He's on his way in. But we're going to start the show because, yo, respect the PAMP. We're currently hacking into the mainframe. We're taking funds from a certain designated place. And we're going to fucking load them into Ronin today. That's what's going to happen. Respect the PAMP, the PAMP, the PAMP. We're seeing contraction, bro. I'm looking at ETH right now. I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. Contraction happening. Maybe this is the week, bro. Maybe this is the week, but we'll address it, bro. Ivan on Tech said Mr. Kage is responsible for the PAMP. So today, I'm going to uncover exactly why or how Kage will be responsible for the PAMP. We'll take part 2, and I hope you guys as Roners will take part as well. But GM to all of you Roners, make sure we're reposting the stream and subscribing to the YouTube channel. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna bring my stupid ass up on stage, you know what I mean? Like, yo, look, it was beautiful. Pokemon Red and Blue disco soundtrack. If you want to go listen to it, there it is. That's your tunes here for the radio today. But no, yo, serious mode. We are locked in, bro. It's been rough times over the last few months, but I feel like we're in a good place. I feel like we're in a very good place right now. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you, you know what it is. We are locked in. You can catch us over on X at the Ronin Radio. We're making a few more posts as of recently to get to know us a little better. You know what I mean? So if you haven't seen those, go ahead and support them. But of course, one of the big topics this week is going to be about the PAMP, bro. Like, what is it? What is it going to take? We've seen a lot of disparities between Ron and other ecosystems. Mainly, you know, the ETH has been pamping. We kind of like replicate the market structure in some ways of Ethereum, but season really for Ron hasn't really kicked off. What would engage that? What would start that? These are conversations I'd like to have this week. Of course, later on this week, we have a special show on Thursday. It will be at a different time. So for you guys that are normally here bright and early 9 a.m. in the western side of the world, or on the evening at 9 p.m. over there in the east, it's going to be a different time. So make sure you are locked in to the Twitter account, the X account, for the updates on that. And I will suggest, bro, you may as well turn those post notifications on for Ronin Radio, because we don't post like trigger finger every single day on the TL like a lot. I mean, we kind of do, bro, but like, you know what I mean? You need to know, because when we post, it's going to be it's going to be a cook. But without further ado, bro, we have the Mr. CEO is in the building. We're going to get this show on the road. It's been a while since we've spoken with Kagi on the show, but for sure, he's always a good friend indeed, but a great friend of mine, Mr. 1437. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing, bro?
GM, how's it going, man? It's a bit of a red morning today, but that's why we got Kagi on today, because he's gonna have to turn this around himself. He's gonna have to pump this shit out himself.
Thanks, bro. Well, we're just gonna go straight on into it. You know what? Like, you guys know it, right? The Ronin Radio. We're fucking chill. You know what I mean? We're here to have good conversation. There is no like pre-rehearsed nature to the show itself. I enjoyed to be able to sit down and talk with Kagi a lot of the time as well. So that's pretty much what we're gonna do today. If you guys didn't know, earlier this week, Ivan on Tech addressed Kagi as the Ronin man, as we know him, the CEO. But here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Give us a warm welcome for Mr. CEO Kagi Yan in the building, bro. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yo. Can you hear me? Good?
Yes. Yeah, you sound great, bro.
Yo, thank you guys for having me. I like that you guys are doing this consistently. You know? Yeah. I know we were talking on the ends for a while, since like 2024, 2023. And I would tell you, bro, like, you're like the only one that is basically talking about Ronin in this format, like the Ronin Radio. Like, you are the reference, or your show is a big reference, and you have to take advantage of that. And I'm liking that you guys are consistent now. It doesn't really matter the views. I don't think you guys should focus that much on that. It's more like being consistent first and then shaping it, which is the most important thing. I like it. I like that you guys are being consistent. Now I believe more in the show.
Okay. Hey, yo, if the CEO believes you better believe too. But no, shout out to all the community that keep turning up. Yeah, we kind of looked, we look beyond the numbers, really and truly, like building the platform out. It's important for consistency. There's a lot of loyalty kind of been paid out to Ronin over the last few years. That venture is never going to really subside. We actually just started a Wednesday show, which is a different show. It's not just strictly Ronin. We'll cover things on Ronin if it is trending topics, but there's always a room to broaden and branch out. But of course, Ronin Radio is going to always be, the hub of what we do and stay consistent within the Ronin ecosystem. So you've been consistent though, bro. Came back. I don't know if many people have known Ronin without you. Now we've had a lot of new people into the community over the last year, 2 years. And since you've come back, it's been pretty consistent. I like it though, because you've got that katana, that valiant sword now for Ronin. You understand what this is. This is the king of the game in chains, bro. It ain't changing. We're gonna talk about the Ronin PAMP this week, but I actually want to give you the floor to basically explain like what made you come back to like Ronin, and why is your stance so firm on that? That's like something where we haven't really spoken too heavily about.
I left Ronin for like 6 months only. In reality, it wasn't that long. It was like after the hack, I was really mad. Bro. I was pissed. Because I put all my equity, social equity, into Axie, into Ronin. Yep. And then to see it turn out like that, I mean, it was brutal for me. It was really brutal. And I got lucky because I actually withdrew all my money from Ronin before the hack, because it was a Russia war before the hack. Like literally 2 weeks before, there was a war announced, Russia, Ukraine, and I took all my money and I lost like $400,000. Literally, I had $1 million in Ronin, just in Ronin, and then I took out like 600K, boom, and sold it to USDC. And not because Ronin got hacked, it was before. So I got lucky there. I was like, okay, there's a war. I'm parking my money, right? So I got lucky as fuck, and then it got hacked. And I was like, bro, like, come on, bro, like, what the fuck, dude? So that really pissed me off. And they weren't making the changes back then. Everybody would give me shit about like the MMO. I was like, bro, they've been saying they were gonna do an MMO for years now. And I was like the villain of Axie, and I was like, why am I the villain? This is in the roadmap, you know? And then people came around and understood, like, yo, Kagi was kind of right. Cloud White was kind of right, you know? Hello, like, you know, like we are in 2025. We still don't have it, but you know, we're closer to it.
We can talk about it. I'm sure you must have seen something with the MMO. You know, been in the office recently. I know. Are you still in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm in the Philippines. Yo, you're here too,
let's go.
Right?
No. I'm back home in Canada now. But the place, you know, the covers, everything. It looks like, you know, SM, you know, those kind of places. They have very similar.
He's in the basement of the office, bro.
I can tell he's in the Philippines. Yeah,
it's crazy because this area, not to brag or anything, like this is a good area, like the best area, right? I'm in BGC. And the apartments here, it doesn't even matter if you're paying top dollar. Inside the apartments, they almost like don't believe in luxury or something. It's like outside the lobby, like you go to the lobby, you think you're like entering, I don't know, the Trump building or something. And then when you get to the apartment, you're like, bro, and this is a new building too. And like, I mean, look at my air conditioner. That's like, bro, like, that's like the cheapest air conditioner you can think of. And this building is like top dollar, you know? So that's kind of how it is here. Not complaining, but you know, like it is.
BGC though was lit, bro. We were there for the Play Summit. YGG, shout out to YGG. Hoping to be there again. Hoping to be there again, bro. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We've been cooking actually on Fridays with Cairo, you know, doing some YGG shows. So I'm gonna see what's good for the Play Summit this year. Get some times and dates, and I'll see what I can do. Make sure I'll be out there. But lots of cool things. I don't know. We saw the leak. The only leak that we've had is obviously POS 2 playing it on the mobile. They actually said, bro, like we've been covering this since last week, that they said this week was going to be the start of the week of like leaks. We haven't seen anything further yet. So, yo, whoever is in charge of the Ronin account or the Axie account, right? This is the week, bro. Respect the PAMP. We need some Axie shit getting on the timeline. So I'd like to see it. But yeah, I mean, you've been an advocate for the MMO since the earliest of days. I think one of the most popular clips that I think of, you know, of you, Kagi, was when you made the AXS symbol with Axies in like a playtest or whatever it was. So definitely a consistent stance from you there.
That's when I really felt the power of the community. Honestly, there was back then it was like Discord, the same thing we feel right now. Like on Twitter, it's kind of like the same thing back then. Like you talk to somebody, they respond. It doesn't matter who it is, even if it's like, you know, the Kagis, the Gillas, you know, the 1437, the top players. Like we respond to people, we talk to people normal. We're not like on this high horse. Like, I feel like you go to other chains and like the top people, like, I don't know. And I don't want to like take shots at these people necessarily, but I'll give you an example, like Ansem, for example. Like he would not respond to you necessarily. Or like somebody like these people are like on this high horse, like they think they're top notch, top shit. And like, yeah, bro, we're in crypto, bro. This is a small niche. Like, who the fuck you think you are? You know, like, anybody here can make it. Like, I don't know. I don't know who do you think you are, but that's what I like.
Anyone can make it. That's true. Someone must have been watching over you, bro, to withdraw right before that hack. But something that I've actually noticed, and you know, I always give credit for, is that you're actually a crazy professional, bro. Like what you do. And, you know, having been able to have time with you outside of social media and just in real life, like, I respect the intelligence that you bring to the space. I'm glazing the fuck out of Kagi right now, but this is real talk, right? Like, I do respect that intelligence you bring to the space. Like now we're in a different phase, right? 2025 industry is a little bit different, but you said it, anyone can make it. I wonder what you think about, like, specifically content creation, because I think we offer a lot of value from that, from the inside perspective of, you know, being here and doing that. But like, what do you think about content creators right now, you know, in this industry, like with Ronin as like the focus? Like how are we doing? If you were to do some kind of assessment of like content that's getting created in Ronin, and what you think we, you know, need, what do we need to do more? Because one of the biggest things and focuses right now is like, how do we get people to care or give a shit about Ronin? Because we are so under the radar still.
Well, for one, I don't think it's our fault, the content creators. I think most people have done a good job. You guys, I have, you know, some founders like the Ronin Coin, Ronkit community. Like, we have done the job. You know, we have done our part, and I think the Ronin network, the leadership at the Ronin network has missed the boat a little bit when it comes to marketing. They, in my opinion, they act, you know, they act a little bit too scared when it comes to marketing. I know a lot of these, like, whether it's events or top creators like Ivan on Tech, Elliot Trades, Alex Beckers, all those people, they're pretty expensive. You know, they could get into the hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. But I feel like there's a reason they have that price, right? They have a bunch of whales behind them, and you put 10,000 whales that have $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 million, putting a couple $1,000s in Ronin, you know, potentially some builders coming, like it could turn out good. And it's an experiment that it could be a little bit expensive, but that is a reason Immutable X is even around. You know, nobody, like, they're building towards the community more now because they have copied the Ronin, like, roadmap when it comes to, like, you know, engaging with the community. I think they're doing a pretty good job, actually. But their initial hype was literally they paid Elliot Trades, Alex Becker, everybody and their mother, and it worked out. You even have VC firms. You have VC firms that are invested in IMX. You know, we don't have that. You see Van Eck with a pudgy penguin on their profile. Van Eck is one of the oldest, you know, traditional institutional investors in stock market and in crypto and everything. They're in everything, but their profile picture is pudgy. Why is it pudgy? Why is it not Axie? Why? And that is the answer. That is why we're not where we're supposed to be, because they haven't been aggressive enough. When you go to Ivan on Tech's live stream every single day, although he supports Ronin and he has a deal with Ronin, whether with Morales and all of that stuff, his company, which is the API company. Yeah. When you go to his stream, it says Polkadot on the bottom right. Why does it say Polkadot and not Ronin? Like, what are we doing? You know, like, at the minimum, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, we should at least shoot for the low-hanging fruits in crypto. We should have a consistent stream of marketing with the Alex Beckers, the Elliot Trades, you know, whether you like it or not, whether it's expensive or not, whatever, you have to take the chance. You have to take the bet, you know? And then now we have this Kaito, and we could talk about Kaito and all of that stuff.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's a good topic to kind of uncover, especially with someone like yourself. We've spoken about it a lot on the show, but yeah, I'd like to hear your opinion on it. Risk takers. Yeah, I don't think we've been that way. And you know, going back to like the hat conversation, I genuinely believe the lion's share of that amount was probably supposed to be dedicated towards marketing. That probably was the allocation of like risk, and like they had to scale back after that because you know, the direction Axie was headed in, people have like Pudgy Penguins has overtaken it in some forms, you know, from a mindshare perspective as an IP, because it hasn't been pushed in that direction. So you know, you can't dwell on it, right?
Yeah, but bro, let's say you spend $100,000 in marketing in the top creators between all of them, at least one tweet a week or whatever, a month, $100,000 a month, right? $100,000 a month. You're gonna tell me between all these three founders, all the fees generated, you know, you can find $1 million for 1 year. That's $1 million in a year. Just throw it there. Just fucking throw it. Close your eyes and throw it. Just be like, boom. You know, 200K Jihos, 200K Strong, 200K psych out, you already have 600K there. And don't tell me they don't have 200K. Like even from their pocket, they could do it. You know, so like that's my opinion. This is my opinion, by the way. This is not like they should not necessarily do this, but fuck, bro, like come on.
Do you think that
respect the PAMP?
Do you think that the reason they're not actually doing that, just throwing this out there, right? Maybe the reason they're not doing that is because they don't have a product. Like, of course, it's Ronin and the network. Bro. They don't have a product that they believe in that can sustain all the things that are coming in, instead of like just being like what happened in 2024. You know, we had Binance listing, there's a pump coming in, and like, you know, all the traders come in, they buy, and then we just slow bleed, right?
I think part of it is they're pretty good at timing, to be honest. I think to give credit to G-Host and Psychout and Trong, they're actually pretty good at timing. They know the market pretty well. So they're pretty good at that. I have noticed that they were really good since the Axie days, when to release something, when to talk about something. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes slow in their marketing approach, but yeah, they might feel like they're not ready to do that. But to be honest, I've seen so many shitty products, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and do incredible marketing, and then they figure it out later. Like, I feel like Ronin is like 10 times ahead of a lot of these products. When Sui came out, their product was shit.
Yeah.
But they came out and
Sui when I couldn't believe it. I did some deep diving. It was terrible, bro. It was like, why is there so much money here? What the fuck is going on? And bro, we found that fake Axie, which I don't know what's happened with that.
I don't know what happened there, but like, bro, I tested Sui like in 2023. At the end of that, there was a few games there, or 2024. I'm not really sure when it was, and the wallet sucked. Everything sucked. I'm like, bro, you're telling me this is top 15, and Ronin has all these products? Like, it was crazy. Now they're good. I think now they're good, actually.
You know, Kagi, like in 2021, AXS was a top 20 coin, right? I don't think there's ever been another gaming coin in ever that even like reached anywhere near where AXS was. And the biggest downfall was obviously the hack, right? Because with the hack, sure, it was Ronin network, but like it dragged AXS down the most. So with the hack, them losing 600 million from actually it was the AXS like that was from the AXS money, right? Like from Axie money, essentially. Like, we're talking about Pudgy Penguins, we're talking about all this stuff. Sometimes I just go back to that day, and I always think like, okay, if they actually had that, if they were able to like offload and like be able to use that as their war chest like throughout these years, like where would Axie actually be? It's very much possible that we would already be competing with Pokemon and all these other games, like in terms of like, you know, just dominating Web3 market, and then like that FOMO going into this year with how Pokemon blew up this year, right? Or like over the last year. I don't know if you follow that, but like it's been absolutely insane, like very similar to what happened back in 2021. Like it just could be another world. Like, do you ever think about something like that? Like, you know, and think about like, maybe Sky Mavis is just not in a position right now to like launch their bullets, because like they have to be more calculative than they you know, we would think they would be if they had that.
I agree to a certain extent, only because, you know, between Cloud and I, like, the amount of times that we told Ronin, bro, you know, I don't want to focus too much on the negative, because we should move on and see where we go from here. But like, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about Axie. I think this is like something that everybody has talked about forever. It's like in 2021, we didn't even launch merch, bro. We couldn't even put a website up with some merch and some plushies, and we did it like super late. I think it's a modus operandum. That's how they operate, from a very like indie developer type of vibe. Good products, but very indie. They don't try to, you know, to be like this flashy or something like that. Even if they had that money today, I promise you, maybe they will be doing a little bit more. Maybe. but I think they would still be operating with the same mindset. That is what I think. That is what I think. But I think they're quickly finding out that they cannot keep doing that for too much longer, right? Because there's so much competition out here. So they have to figure it out, and I think they're going to figure it out because the Ronin team comes from like DeFi summer, right? They come from 2017. They come from all these trenches, right? A lot of these founders don't come from the trenches. You know, a lot of these founders come like, oh, I have this background in, I don't know, in Microsoft or some shit, and I built this, you know, this new blockchain or whatever, and people are hyped or whatever. But when it comes to experiments and understanding how to experiment with new things until something hits, I think the Ronin team understands this very well. They were part of DeFi Summer. They were part of, obviously, CryptoKitties. And DeFi Summer plus CryptoKitties is what created SLP, the SLP and AXS hype, you know? And yeah, so I think they're going to figure it out. We just got to point it out that they should be doing a little bit more marketing, in my opinion, but I don't know.
No, I think we'll get. I do think we'll get there, and I actually think part of Theban's sentiment is right. Like, if I'm at the helm, if we had the funds to deploy, and you know the possibility was there, you know, we had all the people lined up that would make sense for us to go out and, you know, put some money in the pockets to get those high value users, etc. Like, I still don't think I would make the decision to do that now. And you know, we say as of recent, like, oh, is Ronin kind of, or not Ronin, but is Axie in the position of, yeah, it's all eggs in the basket with the MMO. But I do think if you align, like, a lot of the things that we have been saying for them to do for a while, if you align that with the product release of the MMO, and maybe, you know, Ronin builds out towards the Axie MMO launch with more product and more, you know, that middle layer that we've been talking about, the reward system that has been teased about coming and things like that. Like, if all of those things do exist and then they start to you know, take these actions or apply that strategy, I think it would be a lot more effective than to just do it like right now. And even, you know, if we did it last year when we had the run up to about $4.20, you know, you'd have a lot of burnt people. And I think one of the hardest things is to, like, bring somebody back to a place that they haven't had a great experience at. Whereas it's easier to market to someone something new with, oh, but this is actually happening there. There's a lot of speculation around that, and we know, you know, how speculation drives this market. But yeah, let's move forward and focus on, you know, what is ahead. Well, let's actually look at the present, right? Because right now in our industry, especially on Twitter, you mentioned it, right? Kaito and these different incentives and, you know, the whole Laudio thing and XYZ, bro. You fucking name it. There's point scoring in social realms all over the place. Like, as humans, we point score anyway, right? Like, you go to school, you know, you wear a certain pair of shoes, you know, the different things that we do as humans is always point scoring. But now we've got to the point where it's this digitized point scoring systems that people want. And I heard Jiho say this, but people want tokens that represent token distribution. Like, it's like points that represent token distribution. So it's like a token of a token that's not even on chain, and there are people that are desiring that. And that's kind of like the meta right now. What do you think of that? Of course, like, opinions on the Kaito, you'll probably know mine. I'm pretty vocal on it. Like, I don't like the undermining of what it does to, like, authenticity of content, and, like, you know, having creators that you follow because they post their actual thoughts or the things that they're actually interested in, whereas this is an encouragement of just posting something that gets you more points or gets you a direct reward. Of course, the professional job as a content creator, you know, sometimes you're going to be posting things that you have been asked to post and then paid for to do so, etc. And Kaito and those types of models have kind of taken that middleman position where, you know, projects aren't really coming direct to creators anymore. They're kind of going to these middlemen, put an incentive on there, and then people will go and post, right? So it's eaten into largely like our food as creators. But again, the crossover with that and like what Ronin wants to do with it is somewhere we can go after that. But like, yeah, well, I wonder what your opinion is, because I don't really see you participating in like Kaito, Laudio, any of those things. You know, you really just, you fire tweets out as and how you will, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's crypto Twitter, bro. You know, it's like how much Kaito can you actually do? You know, like, you can't do. You know, it's too easy to reach everybody quickly. It's like, how much Kaito do you need? Like, you know, like, we don't need that. We don't need that. We need real content, good content. We need people teaching, educating. Those are the things that bring people in. You know, when you see one of my videos, or a video from Ivan on Tech, 2017, how to code your own blockchain, that has almost 1 million views. That's what brought people in. You know, that's what brought, or 700K. I did a video on how to create a Ronin wallet. At that moment, it was needed, right? We got to find the things people need to get them to the next step. And they need to do tutorials. They need to do entertainment. We don't see that. You know, we're calling people content creators now. They put hashtag this, hashtag that, and I love this game. Like, okay, that is content to a certain extent, but is it actually bridging the gap, you know, and bringing people over, you know?
Bro, that's so fucking true. I never coined content as like a tweet. Like, to me, that wasn't content for the longest time. And now we're in a realm where like anything that you kind of post socially is deemed as content. Like, the word content creator for me was largely, for the longest time, was like literally if you had a YouTube platform. Like, YouTube was like that space in which I would consider, you know, a content creator. And there to be some kind of like consistency, some journey, some kind of like narrative that people were following along with the creator of the content. So yeah, maybe we've diluted the term content creator as well in this phase, right?
You know what it is. It's all like crypto Twitter has always been about making not crypto Twitter, but like, you know, crypto in general has always been about making a quick buck, right? For a lot of people. So this whole, like, everything is just amplified, right? And this whole like content thing became that too. They just pretty much started monetizing a single tweet, essentially. And that's how we ended up here with Kaito. I think the reason why some people like things like Kaito is because, you know, it gives others who couldn't get some deal flows before, you know, some way to like sneak in there and get a little bit of bread, right? But in reality, I do believe this kind of stuff like dilutes everything and makes things like actually quite unprofessional, if you would ask me.
Yeah.
So sorry, you know, this is the dad life.
So okay. Soon I'll be there.
Yeah. Oh, yo, someone asked in chat, Kagi, bro, when wife and kids, bro? It's gonna have to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm in a relationship right now. But
There it is.
yeah, I mean, I'm open to being a dad. To be honest, I'm open. I'm not like all like protective about like, oh my god, like we gotta watch out. Like, you know, if it happens, cool. You know, we go for it. You know,
it's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Theban has been indoctrinating his kids over the last 2 years to every time they hop on the mic, they say Gila is stinky. So, you know, that's we're probably about to experience it. Here we go. Special portion of the show for you guys.
How about you?
Bro, I'm never gonna be free of this. Go on. There it is. Oh, bro,
that's gonna be a 2-year-old, by the way.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Saw me. I didn't say anything. I said absolutely nothing.
He's
they
such a liar.
Gila, and they're like, "You stinky." I didn't say anything at all.
Where did that start? How did that start, though?
Origins madness. So me and Theban ran a circuit of Origin tournaments, probably 2023 Christmas. It was like November, December period. We actually, you know, we were helped by Coco. He delivered, you know, a lot of the rewards for that. And we collected like a lot of the top players in Origins at that time. And we would do a tournament every weekend. We would literally stream for like 7 hours, an entire tournament, go through the bracket and everything. And someone in the comments, I think his name was Sergey, right? Community member, fan of the Ronin Radio, you know, in our Discords, and you know, he's been there for a while, the fucking cunt. But he came into our chat and he said, you know what, like, Gila, like I forget exactly what he said, but he was like, Gila looks like a really cool guy, but he actually looks like he stinks. And like Theban just lost his mind, like right, like Theban lost his mind when he saw the comment, and it was like he wouldn't shut the fuck up about it the whole show. And then since then he was like, I reckon Sergey's right. Like Gila
definitely you got stinky vibes.
Yeah, like, basically. And I had no like. I got no combat. It's just a chat, right? It's just a name and a chat in the box. I'm thinking like, fuck you, Sergey. Like I don't even know how to respond, and it stuck with Demon because I don't know. At that time, it was we were having a lot of fun, and there was no clapback. So I got owned on stream.
That's part of being a creator, you know. That's
bro, really like. I gotta welcome it. You know, being a creator in my light as well. You know, I'm live. I put my face out there a lot, and you know, I've had the Borat, which is pretty accurate. You know, if I put on the gray suit and really go for it in Halloween, I could do the best Sacha Baron Cohen impression. Is almost a doppelganger. Like there's been loads of stuff, but yeah, you gotta have thick skin as a creator. But it's a funny time that Theban just is obsessed.
Yeah, what's funny is this was like 2 years ago almost, and
yeah, it's a long time.
My first daughter here, she was 2. She just turned 4, so she was 2 back then. And I just told her one time to say, "Hey, can you say Gila is stinky?" And then she said it, Gila stinky, and then it stuck with her. Like every time she sees Gila, she's like, "Daddy, I want to say Gila stinky." I'm like, "Okay." And then I give her the headset and she'll say it. And now she's 4 and she still remembers. Right? And then I told her one time to say it, and then she said it, and now she wants to say it all the time too. So it's just a thing now, you know. Every time
basically,
say Gila stinky.
Basically, Theban has rewarded his children for saying Gila is stinky, and now they see it as Kaito points for saying Gila is stinky.
Yeah, that's pretty much how Kaito works. That's essentially how Kaito works. You tell your creators say this one time, and then they get a yap or whatever, and then they just keep doing it forever.
Let me tell you something. I think there's value in that model if it comes from the actual games.
Yeah.
If the rewards come from the actual games, because you make sure that the people that are engaged in those conversations are people that are engaged in the game for the most part. And if
then it goes deeper.
You go deeper. You're rewarding the people that are part of the game, and then the people that are seeing this on Twitter are like, what is this? Right? I see a few people talking about this. Oh, let me check out this game. So it attracts other gamers to come into your game. But when it comes to Kaito, it's like whatever project is out there, you're going to talk about it. And regardless of whether you know what it is or you don't care, you just talk about it. So I think
it's housing that conversation, and I think you are right. Like we've seen it with Axie as well. Like sometimes something's happening in the game and there's a topic of conversation, a big player tweets it out, and then you see the congregation of the community in the comments and stuff like that. Those things are really like gripping, you know, that makes things very sticky. You are absolutely right that it's definitely a necessary model. More so on like what G-Host was saying here, and I think this definitely applies, but like that model kind of has to be built out. It can't just be that component, even though it you know, there's definitely a lot of value there. But I think there needs to be accentuation around that. Like there needs to be more things, and that is like action behavior in the game itself on top of talking about, you know, the game and things like that. So the top layer, the bottom layer, and the middle layer, as he was speaking about, like I 100% see that. We've been in IMX quite a lot recently, right? Because of Tokyo Beasts, and I will say this candidly and openly all the time. That game is fucking it right now. I don't know if you've tried it, Kagi, but it's very very.
I did it because it was on PC at that moment, and I got hacked for like 100K in 2021. So for a download, so that's part of like our mode of operation. Is like we don't download. It doesn't matter how many people are talking about it. None of that. We're not downloading any executables. You know?
Right, it's on. You can get it on App Store now. It's done.
I should try it.
Yeah, bro, just get a laptop just for games only, and just play just for that.
I could do that, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, if a project is on that fucking download, like it's not even a project that I'm necessarily like I'm looking forward to yet anyway,
Mm-hmm.
So now that
Yeah,
it's an
yeah,
app store, I'm like, I can say, like, hey, let me
Yeah,
check it
yeah,
out.
yeah. Yeah,
So
but I like it. I've been playing Tokyo Beast as well with Gila here, and we're obsessed, man. It's like
yeah,
the game is good. It's well designed. Like it feels like they took a lot of the elements of Axie, right? And they put it into the game and they gotchafied everything, essentially, right? So it's not really a play to earn game. And they're very adamant about people understanding it's not a play to earn game. It's very much like a degen game where like you can bet, you can gacha for like higher tier items and things like that. They call it mods. And then you go play in the arena, then you get lottery tickets, right? And then every day you can pull these lottos and things like that. A lot of the stuff that I expected Web3 games to have, they put into their game, right? The only thing I feel about that game that they're missing right now is I didn't hear anything about any buybacks, which is a significant problem because they are getting a lot of money coming in through like US dollars, right? On their site, and you can also use the TGT to buy things, but all the rewards are in TGT; they're not in USD, right? So that means
that's the issue with these games. They don't want to
exactly,
reward back. It's like, okay,
exactly.
like,
But that's why, I mean, maybe this is a great topic, because I know you're well experienced with like all these game economies and things like that, and like, I'm on the side of like honestly, I don't care if a game is like super fun or not. I care that you have a working economy more than anything else, especially if you're trying to be in Web3. And I was talking with Gila the other day, and my thought was that all these games that are coming out, I feel like whatever they rake in through fees and things like that from these games, I feel like they should just use that to buy back everything like in their game, and then keep building the community, keep building long term, right? Raise money and then try to monetize their IP through like real
merchandise, external
IRL things,
revenues. Yeah,
right? And other different revenues where like people want to buy it not because of the game but because they actually love the IP, right? And then build revenue to them, because crypto games, they die when you take like you become
this, yeah,
also like a leech, right? If the team also becomes a leech off the game, that's I think one of the biggest reasons why a lot of these games die.
yeah.
So if
I
you just
think their
buy
structure
back,
is.
it's a good way to like also showcase like your motive essentially.
I think buybacks. The problem with buybacks is that hype dies pretty quickly. Actually, they're
A lot
they're
of people
good.
get into the
They're good.
buyback, right?
They're good short term hype and pumps. Like they buy back millions or whatever, but essentially people are gonna buy into that volume, sell into that volume, right? People that are holding and whatever. And I think it has to be a combination of the token needs to become a security. It really what it is, right? Like I don't know, 80%, 70% of your revenue, you put it into a community treasury, you build a Bitcoin treasury, an ETH treasury, and then you distribute dividends to those token stakers, which is something that is the initial idea of AXS. The initial white paper, if you read it, the true white paper of AXS was community treasury. You stake your AXS, and you would get the ETH directly to your AXS, right? That was the initial thing. But the problem with that was basically regulations and all of this stuff. But that is really what needs to happen. So it could be a portion goes into community treasury, a portion is used for buybacks. It could be buybacks and burn, or buyback
Yeah.
and redistribute,
Well,
whatever it is. Yeah.
I would say burn is the best. I mean, I'm using this as like I got this idea, or not idea, but like example from like Hyperliquid, right? And what they do, they generate fees. They just buy back the token and just keep burning it, right? From all of the especially
All
when
the
there's high demand.
strategies,
So
yeah.
why not use that same idea for like games, and then
In
like
the
try
early
to just
phase,
build
yeah.
out the IP?
I think it's actually the early phase, yeah. And then you
I,
like
I
go towards the
Yeah, but I feel
treasury
like
approach.
in a bear market, what are you gonna buy back? Buy back what? A few dollars, because like the fees are not that high, like there's not enough fees. So I feel in a bear market, how do you sustain? How does that token have a floor? I feel like the floor on a token in a bear market is going to be based on your community treasury that people are going to receive dividends on. So a lot of the reasons why Axie didn't go to basically zero is because they still had a treasury where people are like, wait, there's a community treasury there. And the promise is that we're going to get rewards from that community treasury. So a lot of the whales were like, wait, I'm not selling my stuff. I'm going to keep it. And I want my dividends from that community treasury. Right.
Yeah, a lot of it is removing the sell pressure, like the longevity of the token. Yeah, you're right.
I feel like in a bear, having a good community treasury of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, just sitting there, gives the token a base price because you're calculating, okay, how much is this IP actually worth? At least a community treasury actually worth, right? Versus the token, you do the math or whatever. You're like, okay, this is at least worth this amount of dollars, and then the speculation on top of that gives it a little bit more price. So I think it has to be a combination. I don't know if Hype has a community treasury that distributes funds back. I think the problem is that they can't do that right now. It's really what it is. That's why Uniswap hasn't activated fees. You know, the Uni token is supposed to give fees back. It's supposed to give fees back from all the swaps. It's supposed to give fees back to Uni holders. That is the future of this shit. You know, just like stocks, there's a bunch of stocks out there that have dividends, you know, and that is the future. And people speculate on that dividend. Like, for example, people were speculating on Netflix and Uber before it was even profitable. They were speculating 5 years ahead. So that price is not the price of the dividends that you're getting at the moment. They're speculating 5 years on top, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and it is about a transition, you know, into this niche and into crypto in general of that, right? And even just the behaviors of investment essentially according to that. I like the ideology around this for sure. I think buyback and burn definitely works for, like, you can really create early phase hype. You can really like attract new users there. You can reward the people that have been in the system and playing the game from the jump, which I think is important, especially when you're building a gaming community in this industry. And then you also have the idea, the structure to go ahead and build, you know, the treasury and create that security for the community and for the IP and the token itself. That's actually really, really important. With regulatories easing up, these are avenues that we can explore more now. More companies can explore that. It actually shows how significantly ahead Axie actually is because of how you know, sophisticated that already is. You know, this has been a 4 or 5 even 5 year, you know, process ultimately of fortifying that treasury, that war chest. And you know, we've yet to see the distribution of it, but there is a lot of power in that treasury that can be utilized. We'll get towards governance. There's a lot of, you know, in betweens and the intricacies of how that actually operates. But yeah, when you look at it, Axie is head and shoulders above a lot of projects just simply because they've been able to.
Even Ronin, bro. Ronin has a community treasury as well.
Yeah.
This is something that literally, you just look at any other chain, they don't have that. Like Solana community treasury, they don't have that. I think they're pretty ahead.
That's insane to think about, though. Yeah. Imagine the fees Solana would be getting to play that.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't. And or Sui or XRP. They don't have a community treasury where they're going to use it for the community, whether it's through distribution, through buybacks. They don't have that. Like Ronin is ahead. I think Katana is also making fees and throwing it back into the community treasury for Ronin. So, but people can't put those things together, and Ronin doesn't even talk about it enough, right? So they need to use that as part of their marketing, you know, hype. Like, yo, we have a community treasury, like, so because people are like, okay, where's the Katana token? They're like, people don't know that basically the Katana token is the Ronin token. You know, it's the one accruing all the value.
Yeah. No, it's going to be an interesting future. I think like even myself as a creator, like we can angle conversations and narratives towards that as well. Like in comparison to a lot of these places or the spaces that we have in this industry, not a lot of people are that advanced in position.
Let me show you something. Let me show you, because I think the games are actually going towards this little by little. I just saw this post right here and I commented on it yesterday. Let me see. Can I present here?
I
Yeah,
did a
you can.
quick
You go ahead.
research. It does say Solana does have a community treasury.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I know Ronin is something that they always, since the AXS days, they basically invented that shit, So
yeah, I'm gonna read through the chat just a little bit. Shout out to everyone that is here. We did have a few questions. It was about the pro crypto Vietnam ruling, how that can affect or be bullish for Sky Mavis. Of course, yes, that allows a security layer.
Speaking of Vietnam, there were I just read a tweet saying that Thailand is exempting for the next 5 years all crypto taxes.
Right? They're flooding. They're flooding.
Yeah, for the next 5
boys
years.
will be flooding. Oh man.
Yeah. They're gonna be going after them lady boys out there, eh?
Yeah. Hey. You gonna get your taxes.
You see, Kagi is on his second monitor booking his flight as we speak.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. In Thailand, you're gonna you have to ask less questions about your taxes than you will of what's in the pants of the woman that you're pursuing on that night, bro. It's a good time to be alive.
They were already living out there. I know a lot of crypto people living out in Thailand already, and then now it's like, oh shit, like.
Yeah, living their perversions and their pervert minds in Thailand, I guess.
I've actually, I've never been. So, yeah, I was thinking about doing like the whole Southeast Asia circuit when I was in the Philippines, but I brought my dad out there, so I couldn't be out there for too long. I had to get him back home at some stage. But I think YGG plays Summit the next time we go out. I might do a little tour. I really want to go South Korea. I really, really, really badly want to go see South Korea as well. So there's a lot of places out in Southeast Asia I'd like to go to. But Thailand, taxis free. If you're one of those boys that's out there hopping around in Southeast Asia, there you go, bro. They opened the door for you. But let's see what else is in the chat here. This is a good question, but I guess, Kagi, we'll keep on. We won't tangent too heavily. But they were asking, if you were the BD, how would you be going out and getting new games? And what games would you or should Ronin be going after? We can address that later on a little bit. Ghosting saying that they actually need to start delivering on something good. This past year has been a shit show, and about 75% of things that have entered the ecosystem have not been pretty good. Kagi, that AC, bro. I know that AC is small, but it sounds mighty, bro.
My bad. Yo. I know. Let me turn it up.
I'm gonna throw your screen on up here.
I have a fucking machine in my.
I'm gonna throw your screen up here. Let's take a look at what you were looking at here.
Okay, throw it in. Let me explain real quick. So we were talking about buybacks, right? This is I think he's a founder or CEO of X Society. This is a game that is on Sui. I think they were in another chain. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But now they're on Sui. It's a pretty decent game, decent shooter. And, they're kind of implementing kind of like the excess model a little bit and the buybacks and all of that stuff. And you can see here the chart where, let me see, this is not this one. This one looks complicated. Let's see. So here, fiat revenue will be used to buy back XO from exchanges and send to the treasury of the corporation. Now, I do not see a treasury in actual dollars or in actual BTC or ETH. Like, we need stronger tokens, because holding a treasury in your own tokens, it's like no. I feel like either burn it or put harder currencies in your treasury. But at least they're thinking about this stuff. They're thinking about this stuff, and I think games are starting to, and they're asking questions openly. I think they tagged a few people here on this post. I think they tagged Gabby, Yellow Panther, and a few other people. And I told them, profit sharing from marketplace fees, ads, in-game purchases. I would put that profit sharing in the community treasury first. Buy ETH, BTC, or any other hard asset. Let it compound. In the meantime, add token staking so whales can increase their share percentage of the community treasury. So, it doesn't have to be 100% of the revenue, because the team needs to eat. And I think this is a problem. I want to touch on that real quick. I think this is a problem in many games where developers do not speak enough about how much it takes to create these fucking games. It takes a lot of money to do it. From APIs to devs to artists, it takes a shit ton of money. I actually know a friend that is doing a small game and just connecting to the blockchain, expecting to have a few thousand people doing API calls. They have to, for a year worth of API calls, it's like $3,000-$4,000 already. So they have to at least, and this is like a small game, like a mini game,
No.
And I feel like, and then they have like 2 or 3 devs that they have to pay like at least $1,000 a month, right, to help them create the game, and you're already there.
A lot more than that. I don't think you can ever get it.
It depends. It depends.
Even for an indie game, bro. Like we're talking
in PH,
like 2,000 to 3,000 at this point.
Yeah, fair. For the devs that do know about crypto really good, they're not gonna take $1,000.
Yeah,
but for
I got a project charged to me at like it was one time use. It wasn't like consistent. It was for NFT creation. But these motherfuckers were charging me like 10 bands, bro, 15 bands for the project, and I said, "Do I look like a fucking schmuck, bro? Am I stupid?" We had to cut ties, bro. Like 15 bands, bro. God damn. And a royalty as well? Yeah, shut up, bro. But like, yeah, the market rate, or the market value for devs is expensive. But even, server side stuff and the maintenance, all of these things are extremely costly. And then you put that...
And security, bro. This is not something that, World of Warcraft has to worry about. Or fucking, I don't know, Pokemon. Like, some level of security, like normal server network security in their companies, they have to worry about that so that they don't leak like user information, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to money, you need to have an infrastructure of like how to protect your company, because you have this shit on chain. You can't just leave it on exchanges either, because then you have the problem that happened to Star Atlas, where FTX went down. They lost like $40 million, $50 million. They never in their fucking life thought like this shit was going to go down. And they have $50 million they're compounding, and they would pay their employees from that pool of money, right, that they had in the exchanges. So now you have to have everything on chain. You need to have the security. That costs money, just all the logistics. And this is something that in Web 2 you don't have. But devs do not talk about this enough, in my opinion. So a lot of the people, us, the players, we're like, oh, why is your game so bad? Why this? Why don't you do this or do that? And it's like, bro, like, are you kidding me? Like, you understand how much money it takes? So I had that perspective recently. And I was like, damn, you know what? Like, I feel like devs should talk about it more so that people can be a little bit more understanding, at least.
Facts. That's definitely unknown information for a lot of people. Like, we understand, creating a game takes a lot of money, but not like the intricacies.
Doing that is kind of like funding yourself for future raises and things like that too. I think it's more about like how they might be perceived, right, from like investors and so on and so on. Like we talk about, not showing any weakness, right? Always showing like you're coming from a place of strength, especially when you need to raise money. It might be nice to like be transparent with your community, but like I don't think anyone who wants to invest in your game wants to hear those things, probably. Like, because they know those things.
That's how it was back in the days, bro. When projects started raising out of the community, they would do breakdowns, like not exact breakdowns, but now it's like, 30% for the community, 40% for this. But they wouldn't say how they would like actually spend it. Like now we're supposed to just look at a pie chart and say, yeah, I'm investing in that.
It's like a trust me, bro industry.
Yeah, like that's a problem.
We make a joke, like I guess I don't know if it's an inside joke or not. Like we'll look at like a pie chart, like the token distribution, and then we'll be like, okay, that's team, that's team, that's team, that's team, and then you'll see like a sliver of like 2%. Oh, okay, that's community, right? 2%, which is like given through the community over like 10 years or something.
Yeah, bro. Like advisors, team, community fund, team, like marketing, team, because they don't give anything to creators. I see all these pie charts with marketing. I'm like, bro, don't you have a pie share of marketing? Like, and I'm talking about liquid tokens. Sometimes, like when they come to me and they're like, wait, but you want me to do free content, but you have a pie share, dude, and it says marketing there. Give me at least $500, $300 or something. Throw a bone in your token or something. I don't know. And what are you doing?
Yeah, facts. A lot of these projects say that. I mean, I don't know, bro. They make it out that they really are like they don't have it, right? And I mean, there's a lot of management that needs to happen there, and we've seen games die this year, so yeah, of course we'd like to see projects handle their funds a lot better, and but yeah, specifically on the content side of things, like for creators and stuff, like these games, they're really dropping. They're not dropping, funds on the table as so much anymore. I don't know if you felt that recently, Kagi. Like, how are you surviving as a creator? We don't have to go into obviously sensitive stuff and whatnot, but like, is it different now? You think it's a better economy for creators now than it has been in the past, or where we are with things?
I gotta say I'm thankful because I have managed to hustle my way into getting paid a lot, right? I think for the people that are doing content, I always tell them you gotta be flexible. This price sheet. I don't do price sheets. I don't do any of that because that locks you down into some certain range or whatever. It's like I work with the projects. There's a project that that recently, not recently, but like a couple months back, they had an MMORPG. I'm like, look, don't give me money. Give me 5 of your NFTs. Their NFTs were worth $500 each. Give me 5. Maybe I sell 2, keep 3, made $1,000 there. Boom. I don't go like, nah, this is my price rate. And I think creators are not flexible enough. They want to behave like they know business and shit. Like, oh no, this is my price sheet and I won't go down. No, I'm flexible. If I see a project with a lot of money that can pay my rate, then I give them, I nail them. Like that. I nail them, but I also give them a good amount of content too. So I'm just flexible, and that's what people need to start being more flexible with games too. I also take risk with games where I still take those risks depending on the game, where I go like, okay, give me $20,000 in your token, distribute it for 6 months. If the token does good, I come out good as fuck. If the token goes to shit, I lost time and I didn't get paid. So I'm aligned with the incentives, right? The problem is that all these creators started taking like this like shitty deals with games, and they brought the market to nothing. They basically devalued our worth, right? I don't want to mention names, but you guys can guess. All these people started taking token deals, all this crap. They would, they devalued our whole worth as gaming creators. And I think we're very worthy, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, making a tutorial takes time, bro. You have to play the game. Making a tutorial like easy to understand quickly, it takes time. I'm not saying I'm the best tutorial master, but I get the message across for people, at the beginner level. And I feel like, for example, Tiovan here, is that how you pronounce your name? I always Tiovan.
I thought you said I thought you called me Giovanni for a second.
No, no. How do you pronounce it, bro?
Tiovan.
Tiovan. Okay. For example, bro, you're really good, and I told you this, at analyzing games and their flaws at a high level, like not a high level, at a pro level. It's like, bro, your game is gonna break here. Like, I can't do that. I'm a very casual gamer, but you can go into a game and say, look, your game is gonna break here. You're basically a white hat hacker for this game.
It's like a problem identifier.
Yeah, you need to sell that service. Honestly, you need to sell it. You need to find a way to sell it and say, like, put a price sheet or something, or a PDF, and say, look, I have solved problems for this game, and I have saved the money here, and then just sell yourself to games. Like, hey, yo, I'm a pro tester of games, and I'm sure we'll back you up. We'll back you up. Like, I will tweet if you actually sell that service. I would literally just tag you on Twitter and say, hey, if you're looking for somebody to like break your game and really, save you money and stuff like that, to really test your game to the max, like talk to this guy. Like you need to have this guy so that you don't lose money.
Yes.
Those are
yes,
things.
Kagi, yo, put the hustle in line, bro.
I told you this before. But I feel like there's an opportunity there, honestly. Yeah. There's an opportunity. And there was somebody complaining about this in Fishing Frenzy, and that reminded me of you. This gamer, he was putting all the bugs in the Discord, and he was like, bro, I just saved Fishing Frenzy a shit ton of money when I could have just taken the money out. I could have taken all these items out. I could have sold those items, and I don't even get rewarded with anything. They're like, oh, thank you for the feedback. Yeah. What do you mean, thank you for the feedback? And I commented on his tweet. I was like, and I tagged the founder, and I told him, bro, you need to reward this guy. You need to give him at least 100 run or something. Give us something, bro. Like you can't be that, And he saved them basically.
Yeah,
without all those bugs.
What you're saying about like content creators and these kind of things is like a lot of these games in Web3, they don't realize that everything is stacked against them, right? You're already in the game, and then you're within a niche of crypto, right? Like you need all the help you can possibly get, and you need to like understand where the weaknesses are. They perceive themselves like Web2 games, and they're gonna receive the same treatment Web2 games get. Web2 games don't really pay creators to like make like actual like guys and stuff like that. They get their community does it for them, essentially, right? But that's because like they market in different ways. They get hype before those games even come out, and like get those kind of communities interested in their games way beforehand. They do other things, so there's a lot of cutting corners, to be fair, that happens like in our industry, and that's something that I do agree with you that like definitely needs to change. And you're right, I have saved already like a few games. I want to say in the millions, to be honest, especially like in crypto. That's not far-fetched at all.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it. I know, bro. I know.
The difficulty is getting people to jump, though. Really, like getting people to jump on the service.
Dude, a lot of these games have massive egos. Like they think they can do no wrong. Literally, like they just think that like they got everything locked down, or everything's gonna be perfect, they're gonna succeed. I mean, you need that kind of mindset to be able to make a game, right? It's very rare I found a founder who's like, yeah, well, listen. They'll say they'll listen, but then when it comes time to like implement what they need to change, they fall like a lawn chair,
bro. I think the right way to go about this, to put your name out there, this is how I would do it. It's all about personality too, because I'm like fucking crazy and shit. So you have another style. You're very chill, very mellow, very laid back. So it's a different style. But if it was me doing your job, what you do, the first thing I would do is I would go to games. I would tell them, hey, look, I have the service. I check out games. I play them. I'm a professional in many, many games. I have been professional in this, and that. I'm not going to charge you anything, of course, right now. I'm just letting you know that I will be testing your game to find and break your game and find bugs, okay? I will do you the courtesy of letting you know if I find any bugs, blah, 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 blah. And you do it for those games, and you do it for many games. But you let them know that you're doing a service, even if you're doing it for free. And you keep doing it, boom, 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 boom. And you also broadcast those bugs after you told the founder, I found this bug on this game, but you almost become a SAC XPT of game bugs on Twitter, basically. But you broadcast it to the founder first so that they don't get fucked, right? But you become that guy of like, if this is something that you enjoy, because maybe you enjoy it to a certain extent, not necessarily as a business. So there's like different things going on here that not necessarily this is your niche, but if I were to do that as a business, I would be broadcasting those bugs on Twitter. Every time I find one, I just found this bug. This could have I'd already informed the founder. This just saved them millions of dollars. If people would have been able to withdraw their token, or this ability is broken, and you can basically kill all the mobs with this ability and no effort, blah blah blah, whatever it is. So I would be doing that. That would be my way in for free for a while. Which you're
We will see. We will see. I think we more for youth, even though it's not like necessarily dev bugs. It's like bugs in their structure. Like it's like their approach.
Gameplay.
Yeah. Oh, gameplay as well. Yeah,
gameplay
for sure.
economy. Like I very very much on like the bigger picture stuff, right? Like seeing like okay, what it is that's gonna literally bankrupt you in a way where you're missing a key part, right? Like in your loop, in your gameplay loop. Like you've seen a lot of pitch decks, and they have all these like fucking webs of shit everywhere to like misdirect you and be like, yeah, man, like we're gonna fucking make a lot of money with doing this, and then you see all the VCs shaking their head like, hell yeah, let's go. Like I can see that shit and be like, okay, well, you have a hole right here, you have a hole right here. If I do this here, you're gonna lose all your money. Nothing's ever gonna flow.
You should coin yourself as the flywheel operator. My name is Steven. I'm the flywheel operator. If your flywheel does not fly, I will identify and let you know. Like that's the pitch. Like put the flywheel together.
It's very partially like a dream crusher, as well. It's like
but I also feel like that kind of job it would be actually good for a specific IP that you love. Like you just want to make that IP like a better IP, and you work for them.
I don't think it's for the want of trying, bro. So, but I've been saying
this for Axie.
Yeah. Facts.
Did you work for Axie for a little bit?
I've been saying this for a while though, because like being close with Theban and getting to know Theban a lot more in different environments and like. Yeah, like a super, like I'm fucking glazing everyone today, but super valuable perspectives. Like the consideration, like I don't, I'm a fucking ronky, bro. I'm just out here to make content and play these games, right? We have fun, we get some good combos going, etc. Like that's it to the extent, right? But yeah, like your approach and the perspective that you have and the consideration for like a bigger picture is fucking incredible. So any game in this industry, I think having you, at least, even if it's just a consultation, it probably doesn't even have to be like this huge layer of service where you have to identify all these things and deliver it, but it could be just consultation before a game goes ahead with decisions, right? I think if I'm in this industry and I'm looking at how do we be successful and how do we have our finger on the pulse of things, I'd go through a medium like yourself, and I think it's necessary. So.
But I can see how the ego gets in the way. It's like you're telling games like, bro, I am going to tell you if your game
I'm gonna tell you if you're an idiot or not, right? Like,
if you have a good team behind these loops, creating these loops, I'm going to tell you that. That's kind of that's like
it's a hard sell.
It's a hard sell, bro.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like those games though, like they have a big ego because they need to, but they also haven't seen a bunch of pitch decks. They also haven't seen all these other economies and like understood like all the flaws that go through them, right? Some of these games don't even play their own game, right?
Yeah.
They look at a spreadsheet and that's all they know about their game. It's a spreadsheet, right? Or like some doc that they wrote.
The one thing that I think they overlook as well is that they actually like some of the games, their success or their stamp of approval is by someone like a VC, right? But the VC's game is different. Like the VC is probably looking at an endpoint of where, this recoups my value and I'm good, I'm done. I give no shits anymore, right? So like if you're looking at your point of success from that perspective, there's a end to the road, right? And that also would equal end to the road for the project ultimately, right?
Not only that, like leading up to the launch or like the first play test, your whole community is glazing you, right? Because they bought into you on the speculation and they want to get paid, so they're boosting you up. They're like, yeah, you go, and then like they keep buying everything, and then when the product delivers, right, and they've had all this confidence built up, and they're like, yeah, we can do no wrong, and then the product delivers and it's like dog shit, right? And the community is like, what the fuck is this shit that you just delivered to us? And then everything comes crashing down. That's when they realize and it clicks with them. It's like, shit, we should have listened to that motherfucker. Like, why the hell didn't we listen? But can't get muted. Okay.
Oh yeah. I was gonna show you, bro, because this reminds me of you. This is something that I would like to see more from you if you really want to break their dreams. For example, you know, Jin, I don't know if you guys, this content creator, he's like, he basically plays games. So I already said before that FIFA Rivals wasn't going to work because of passive experiences, because of, Blancos, NFL Rivals. I played NFL Rivals, and people think it's about like, sometimes people think I talk shit about the view because they're not gonna pay me or whatever. But I spent thousands of dollars in NFL Rivals. It's a fun game, but it was broken. It was just broken. Your value, your cards would get devalued, whatever. But we're gonna go quickly into this, and he's basically commenting on the flaws of the game right here. How your player kind of goes up in price. There's a contract that you have to pay to play with the player, blah, blah, blah. You can like rank it up. But by the time you sell the player at a higher rank, it also requires more money to be able to play that player in the field because it's a higher rank. So it breaks the economy and blah, blah, blah. And he did this whole thread. I read it. And this is basically things that you have to do, in my opinion. Just put it out there. Just fucking like, play all these games and give your honest review on where it's broken. And then people will start seeing you as like, yo, this guy knows what he's talking about,
Yeah.
Like we need to talk to this guy. We need his validation. And that's when you're like, charge him for the consultation,
Got it.
Yeah. It's actually about how many hits that you get. Because you don't even have to present a value. Like, you don't have to look and be like, what's my market value? And then go and present that or sell it or pitch it, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, how many hits that you actually have? Like, I think your value will be deemed by the community's reception of
exactly.
your delivery. And then they have no choice but to say, well, it's valuable, right? And like, we want at least to have that on our side, and then you come with that position of strength, essentially. So yeah, good shit, man. Yeah, we just chefing up career paths here on the Ronin Radio.
Because people do the same with me these days. It's kind of like they want the validation from me, but not what you do. They want me to play their game for free and tell them if it's a decent game, right? And I can tell if something is decent. I'm not gonna like go into like every single detail or anything like that. But they're looking for that validation. I'm like, bro, you have to pay me as an advisor. You have to pay me as an advisor. I can't just be playing everybody's game now. I got into a point where like I get enough requests to test the game. I'm like, oh, test our game. I'm like, are you paying me to test your game? Like, are you? Yeah. And it's not about the pay. It's about the time. If you have 10, 20 games hitting you up to test their game, with no incentives, it's like, bro, like at some point you have to put a value to that. And that's what's going to happen to you eventually. Once you test all these games, you put their flaws out there, like this guy just put it out there. Eventually, games are going to contact you and say, hey, can you test our game? Let us know what you think. And you're like, yeah, I can test your game, but this is my advisor fee or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you straight up, you tell them what it is. Some of them are going to say, oh, you're going to charge to test our game. It's like, yeah, I'm going to try to test your game. There's a reason why you want me to test your game, right? So I don't know. I think there's a business there.
Yeah, facts. Well, we've been here for a little minute. Maybe have one or two topics or one topic to still cover. But if you are here in the chat, shout out to you. Appreciate you for coming through. If you got any questions for Kagi, now is the time. Before we go ahead and start wrapping things up towards the end of this, if you have questions, drop them in the chat and we'll address them. I know there was some throughout the course of the show, but we've had a pretty engaging conversation and been pretty focused on that. So I think one thing that I'm obsessing around right now, and you can probably tell it, is that reward system in Ronin. Like I was saying, we've been on Immutable with Tokyo Beast recently. They actually have like a gem collection reward system where they're rewarding players. Like, I think I actually screenshotted it so I could recount this. Right. So they're giving 7 spots of reward distribution, all of different values. The lowest that you can earn for a week by participating in their like questing reward system is 30 IMX tokens, which is about $15 a week, which is bullshit. We don't really care about that at all. But the top spot is like $450. Second spot, $140. Like, they have a system in which we've been kind of teasing will occur here in Ronin, but it just made me realize, like, damn, like these ecosystems are already in implementation phase of that, and like we're not there yet. What do you think we should have on Ronin in terms of like a reward system that is like based in the wallet across the ecosystem. I guess the easiest way to approach it is probably like, what are the components of it, like in-game, social, like how do those things, like from your opinion, like how would it best operate to drive people to want to use, the Ronin ecosystem week in, week out, and bring high value users here as well, not just the people that exist?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, definitely, I saw Avalanche do a battle pass, which is something I mentioned a long time ago, like a year ago. I said, we should have a battle pass across all the games, all the partner games in Ronin, seasonal battle pass that with the point system, but I'm not sure that that's gonna bring high value users. High value comes from DeFi. That's my problem. That's where high value comes from. You need DeFi protocols, like high value users. We already have the gamers. This is gonna add another layer for the gamers, which is good for them to earn some points and earn some rewards and whatever. But how is that gonna bring actual high value users? The reason Abstract is working for Abstract is because they're leveraging their airdrop for their token, and that's why they're launching it by the end of the year, basically by the end of the bull market. So they can just say, boom, $10 billion valuation, and peace the fuck out. We did our job. If they do it now and they launch at 10 billion or 5 billion, by September, November, is going to be back down. It's going to go down because people are going to sell. So it's a good strategy to leverage that airdrop hype with the XP system or whatever they have. It works for them. Now, the immutable thing actually works, but it's not going to bring high value users like necessarily. It's going to bring the same users that we have. If the idea is to bring the same users that we already have right now in the crypto and bring them back to Ronin, I think it's a good idea. Take them away from Abstract, take them away from Immutable, take them away from Somnia, right? Bring those users back into Ronin because there's something to earn, whether it's $10, $15, $20 a week or a month, whatever you told me it is. That's not going to bring high value user. High value user are not looking for $20 a week or a
facts.
month. It's just going to bring the same people that we already had back into the ecosystem, and that's a good thing in my opinion. We need that. We definitely need that.
Have you been underwhelmed with the rate of DeFi growth on Ronin since Open Ronin?
Yeah.
Personally, myself, I will say But
I'm very, very underwhelmed. I think we need sticky products, bro. We don't have that. My brother is in DeFi. He's like deep into DeFi. He's like that's his bread and butter. He's been doing it forever. Like we started together in 2017 in crypto, and he literally found SLP through Bankless because Bankless was a DeFi kind of like newsletter, and he found the SLP thing and the Axie thing through Bankless newsletter in 2019, I think it was, or early 2020. And he told me about it. He's like, bro, there's this game. I know you think games are shit in blockchain, but look at this game because they have like this token that you can earn and blah, blah, blah. I think you should take a look into it and do content on that. And he's the one that introduced me to this stuff. But my point is that this guy is pure DeFi. And I tell him about Ronin, and he's deep into Ronin in other games like Wild Forest. But when it comes to DeFi, he's like, bro, I'm not moving money to DeFi in Ronin. Like, there's nothing for me there. And if he thinks that, what do you think other DeFi degens think? This is a user that is a high value user. Like, he's a user that will give you input. He's a user that will be in the project, in the Discord. He would put money in your project. He will try to make it better. Like, this is not just some, like mercenary necessarily. So if you want to bring those people with money into DeFi, into Ronin, and increase the total value locked of Ronin, we need to figure that out. That's the most important thing in my opinion right now for Ronin.
Yeah. It was actually interesting though how, like, I don't know, I guess it was like the presumption, right, or the anticipation or expectation, right? Open Ronin happened, and I thought we would see DeFi after DeFi after DeFi project collaboration, whatever, activations, and we're crawling towards it though. That's that's the issue. We're kind of crawling towards it, whether it's a timing issue, whether it's actually just a convincing issue, like convincing DeFi to actually operate here on Ronin. Like, I don't yet know, but yeah, I'm actually glad that you're honest about that.
Do you think Ronin could use a perps platform?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know enough about that. I don't even use those, so maybe. I don't. Yeah. I'm not quite sure. I just know that DeFi needs to come into Ronin. You know, I would lie if I tell you, yeah, we need that, or this would cause this issue. I don't know, because I don't use those platforms. I'm not really into DeFi, but
so
I know we need it.
Essentially, like, what it really boils down to is like we just need more fees in general, right? Generated. And NFT, like, games generate fees through like NFTs essentially, right? And NFTs are just not hot. Like, they're there, they exist, but like they had their time, and maybe they come back around in a few years, but we need something more. And right now we know the biggest fee generator is perps platforms, you know, exchanges, Hyperliquid, right? That's the biggest one. Of course, meme coins. But yeah, I think if Ronin really wants to be going down that professional route, we saw, you know, Sky Mavis not really going all in supporting memes and stuff and like trying to do that. I think they know their identity, which is games, and that's what they want to stick to. To be fair, perp/trading is a game, right? In itself. And like, I think a lot of the users that you have right now would really appreciate that. Like DeFi, same thing. It is like a game. But obviously, you know, the extreme end of that would be like a platform like that. So I would be interested. I think that could, you know, especially if they market properly, and then there's like some kind of an insane airdrop for volume creation. And so far, like from a brand new token, that could then bring value back to like Ronin.
I think a good trading platform, perps included, because that is what a lot of people look for. They like to leverage trade because it opens up an area of the game that they couldn't originally play. But like a really good referral system on Ronin with a platform that is dedicated towards trading, and then like the users that come here and you cherry pick them, and we use, like you said, Kagi, the throw it and close your eyes and throw it potentially could be the approach. You bring those people as participants early to this platform. They get referral codes out there. There is a distribution towards them before that referral system, and we start to really super drive a trading platform here on Ronin. Because you're right, fees is really, really important. We actually did an analysis last month on fees generated by a lot of these ecosystems, and in comparison to the actual TVL and the size of Ronin, like next to these other platforms, Ronin still generates fees at a very, very high rate. And I think you could still find it on DeFi Llama right now if you wanted to. And I think it was roughly
how are we benefiting?
Exactly. We just community. Well, the Ronin treasury.
How is the DeFi degen benefiting from those fees? Because you see something like Faro. There's an exchange in AVAX called FAR Exchange, and it's basically a VE model. You stake, and then you get this emission tokens that give you the fees generated. Blah 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 blah. That, it's not even about the amount of fees at the moment. It's the idea of earning those fees into the future. Because when my brother showed me this Faro token 1 year ago, nobody knew about it. Literally, nobody knew about this exchange that gave you fees. And he told me, bro, if this exchange blows up, these fees we're gonna make a lot of fucking fees in this exchange. Right now, 1 year later, the number one exchange in AVAX, Faro Exchange. Yeah. So it's not necessarily like you have to show people like the amount of fees. Here's the amount of fees. It's the idea, and that the same thing that happened with AXS. When I was talking to Baronar, when I was talking to Aur, when I was talking to who's the Baronar's partner? I forgot his name.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
the blonde guy.
Yeah. I did a stream with him, and he was explaining, bro. Yeah, like if Axie blows up and it goes to this amount of valuation, and we have this amount of fees, all these fees are going to go to the community treasury, and we're going to benefit from that. And we were like dreaming about that. So we're not even giving people anything to dream about, So
a training platform could work, bro. Like, just if you partner with the right one. Obviously, there's a lot of operation side things that have to be have to be in place. And yeah, I think a fee, like an incentive to bring that platform one to Ronin, to have it align with Ronin identity and be almost like game like, arcade like, but be a good trading platform, have perpetuals, also have a native token, or even if there's a partnership possibility to have, you know, the attachment of like Ron as the token that you stake on that platform to distribute the fees to, like, could be a really solid approach, because that's generally what Ronin is actually missing. We have users in terms of high value for games because we have gamers, but a lot of the gamers that exist here also, their favorite game is the economy, right? You know, G-Host will talk to that himself. His favorite game about it is the economy. So if we bring a platform that engages both gamers and then invites traders to the network, one, you bring volume over. Two, you have a good referral system, so they incentivize to bring more of their volume friends over. Three, they have a staking mechanism and a fee distribution so that they can dream towards what the platform could actually be. And over the course of, you know, a few months or whatever of this distribution, you turn Ronin from just a gaming train to a high volume platform that has opportunities for DeFi. Because I think if you start with a trading platform, what do people want to do with those profits, right? They want to distribute some of them towards whatever they want to do, luxury wise, gamble wise, degeneracy wise, and then another portion they want to have some kind of yield and accrual continuation from that. And if you start with a trading platform and you make people, you know, have an avenue to win and to actually earn profits and to yield, they stake that platform originally, and then they look beyond that. Then you can look at prospects like Elron, and then Elron into other DeFi's, Compound, for example. And I think that's where you really start the flywheel. But yeah, we really do have to make a stance on actual volume TBL increase on Ronin. I think trading platform probably is the way to go about that. It's not going to be some speculation over the next
it would be the
game.
hardest thing to do, by the way. Like, you would need lot of bloody money, and like, you need BC, whatever, like, you can possibly get all the support in the world you can get. But you're right, like, if you go the Hyperliquid route, a lot of people aren't already trying to do that. They're gonna fail miserably. But I feel like Ronin, as known to be gaming, have been here long enough. Like, there could be something there, especially if they do something where, like, there's even more incentive than like a Hyperliquid, right? Because people trade a Hyperliquid because, you know, some low fees, decentralized, you know, anonymous, and they buy back the hype token with all the fees that they get, right? Which they get in US dollars, pretty much.
They do everything, like the whole thing.
Yes.
Their whole fees, 100%.
I don't know what the exact amount is, but they take it, and they take the fees, especially like you'll see on like high trading.
That's crazy,
high volume days, you'll see the hype token pumping. You can look at hype right now. Like, they get flooded because, you know, they had issues where they had some hiccups, and then like they had to step in and they had to like stop certain things from happening, and then that just dumped the price, and then like it just rebounded like crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
you look at the market structure, and it's like the Hyperliquid, the platform itself, is its own market maker.
It's the hype token is probably the healthiest token out of any token this past year. Like, it's
up only. I saw it. I saw the chart. It's like up only, like,
yeah,
but like healthy.
And not only that, it was also the best airdrop that ever happened, because like even after the airdrop, it was up only. Like, people were dumping the airdrop, they were offloading, and it was still up only.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
But what gives them the leverage to do that, the power to do that? Is it because Hyperliquid came with a lump sum, and we're like, okay, look, we can actually have low trading fees because we can front some of that, like take that away from the users slightly with a fund, and then here's the plan, and they have, you know, it mathed out for.
Well, I wasn't there before, so I don't really know, but from what I heard, it was pretty shitty back in the day, like when they first launched it. But like, because of all the trading volume that was created and everything, like the degens got majority of the airdrop. And
it's actually something we should study, bro.
Yeah, they didn't sell the airdrop. You know, they're degens. So what do you think they did? They went and like put a 40x on whatever coin that they wanted to, and they lost it again, right? Like, from the airdrop. So it's like it went right back into the ecosystem, and pretty much because it's like decentralized, like the user who stakes and is pretty much like the market maker, right? Like, you're like Hyperliquid is the one who takes on the other side of the trade when you open a trade, right? So like, and usually most traders are all losing.
Yeah.
So it's generating a lot of money for like their stakers. It's generating like value for the hype token. You get reduced fees by holding the hype token. So it's like one of the most successful projects. Obviously, the scariest thing is like, I don't know, some North Korea hack or whatever, right? Like, or something. With the decentralized nature, like it's still a little bit of the unknown, right? Like we don't know all the issues that could possibly arise, all the ways people can game the system. Recently they had one with like the jelly token where like someone like opened a position, they got liquidated, but Hyperliquid had to take on that position afterwards, and then it lost like a few $1,000,000 because of it, right? So like
we haven't seen the crazy shit that can happen with those.
Yeah, so there's like stuff like that like you haven't seen yet, but like they are the guinea pigs, right? Essentially. And because they've been successful, probably if there is some kind of exploit, I'm expecting it to happen like literally at the beginning of the bear market, right? Because they want this shit to build up and build up and build up. If someone's got an exploit, they're not gonna use it right away, right? They're gonna wait for it to build up, build up, build up, and then when it's about to hit bear market, when all the money's in, and then they pull the trigger, right?
Damn, that's just so scary. Like to know that that's a possibility, and that is how they would operate too. Like you're right.
Yeah.
Like if there's an exploit out there, they're gonna do max damage.
I mean, I hate to bring it up as an example, but look at like what happened with Ronin, right? With the hack, right? Like the timing of that hack was like impeccable, right? Because that was literally right as when
they probably saw the news you saw, Kagi. They saw the news you saw and they thought, all right, it's fucking go time, bro. We gotta do it now. And it took a few weeks.
No, I didn't tell anybody what I told, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying like no, I'm saying like the same macro economic influences from.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
So it's funny. I hope just out of the memes of it, that it happens on a token called like hot potato or something. But it is what it is. I think we're gonna wrap this up, bro. We gotta call this a day. This is a fucking solid combo for sure. I stand by it though. I'd like to see us experiment in that field, because I do think the differentiator really is that we just have no incentive for extra money to come here, and game speculation as a niche itself in this current like environment is just not enough to bring that over here. But last question.
I just want to say something. Like also games are not bringing any experimentation at all. Like they're just coming into Ronin like, oh here, like bro, like try something new. I don't fucking know, man. Like at least Pixels was like, bro, let's kind of like revive the Axie days through our token with the berry token and blah blah blah, and it worked, right? It worked good enough. There's people that made a shit ton of money. There's people that made 30K, 40K, 20K. I think I made 15K. I didn't even try on Pixels. I was just playing passively because I'm not like a max fucking whatever. They did something for the ecosystem. They brought something to the ecosystem. They gave money to people. They listed on Binance. They made it happen for the ecosystem. These games are not even trying, bro. They're not even trying.
It's just copy pasta, TGE, airdrop event, play to airdrop, blah, blah, blah. And then they leech to pay their own light bills and stuff like that. But yeah. But let's see what's around the corner, though. I'm very, very hopeful. I think this summer is going to be a bit of a switch up. MMO around the corner, too. We'll finally get our hands on that. I do think, at the end of the day, bro, all roads kind of lead to Axie, and we'll see how this unfolds. But no, I appreciate you having you here, Kagi. The last question I do have for you is from our Pink Ronky himself, bro. He's been asking, and he always gets mad if we don't approach him in the chat. But Mr. Rallo, bro, Ralito says, do you actually think Ronin is fun right now? He always comes with these hard ones. I know he probably likes to come up here and debate with you right on this question, but like, is Ronin fun? What are you doing to have fun on Ronin right now?
Yeah, there's not a lot to do right now on Ronin. I mean, I'm playing Zverse. I'm just waiting for kind of like a game to pop off. I'm testing these games to see if they have the energy to bring the pixel hype, the Axie hype. It's very hard to have the like. To be honest, it's crazy to me that the two biggest games in crypto have been Axie and Pixels. That's That's 2 hit games. Like really, in terms of like hype, that have been in crypto, they've been in Ronin. So for me to think that it won't happen again, like people are fucking confused. There's no other chain that has had a hype game yet, like a real hype game. Like everybody's talking about it, everybody's making money, everybody wants to play it, you know. And they're both listed in Binance. You know, I think Ronin can do it again. It's not that fun. And something that really bothered me, I must say right now, is Ronke. We had an opportunity with Ronke. We really did. We really did have an opportunity with Ronke. I'm not saying there won't be that opportunity again in the future. Maybe when the ecosystem grows bigger, there's more money, there's more things to do. But we had an opportunity to bring a lot of people in, and they had to send that fucking token to 50 million valuation, 100 mil, listed on Binance, talk to fucking CC, do the call, do something. Yeah. Put that fucking token up there, you know? Yeah. But you imagine,
and now with time, it gets even harder. Yeah. Facts. Everyone will be full porting. But no, it's true, bro. This really fucking bothers me too. You know what? Fuck it. We're not ending the show right now because this actually does fucking bother me. The timing, bro. The mind share, the way the community was fucking engaged. The founders did get behind it for sure, but like, the way that we fumbled that bag, bro, in that time is fucking bananas to me, bro. It doesn't actually make sense. I don't think we vocalized it as much as we probably should have or could have, but like it's difficult now, right? There's been so much time in between the inception and like people definitely know, but even now, like the Ronke chat, like it's something that I check probably once a week, whereas before it was like I'm there every day seeing what's going on, right? And so that's going to be really, really difficult to bring back. But yeah, if we'd have created winners in that phase as well, right before all of this stuff, Ronin would have had liquidity to be ready to go, right? It would be more enticing for projects to come and launch.
And that was a good winner because Coco owns like 150 million of that token. He's like the biggest owner. So like, you got somebody that is not gonna dump on the community. Like that was the winner. You have confidence in that one. Is that some random person that has fucking 100 million tokens that is gonna dump? Like like Coco has like a big amount. Like, bro, you had the bag there. It was that one. That was it.
Yeah. Is it over? That's the question. Is it actually
over? No, it's not. No. I feel like Ronke is culture right now. Oh, let me show you something. Wait, Ronke. Wait.
Here we go. Here we go. Respect the PAMP, bro. Now, Ronke should have gone 50 mil. Oh, shit.
Oh.
There's a revenue model in itself. Is that a bag, bro? Or a little pouch? Oh my god, yo, you catch this man on the plane.
I love it. What the fuck? I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Dude, I can't even tell you're wearing a mask.
Yeah. It just looks like Kanye, right?
We were waiting for the right time to release this merch. Obviously, the money to buy back Ronke and burn it. But also, Ronin doesn't have a payment system. We don't want to use some other token. We want to use a Ronin payment system, right? Like they don't have they don't have collaborations with any payment system other than Binance. And Binance, you have to do like a 1 month process of like,
and geolocation limitations as well, bro.
And all that crap. And I'm like, I mean, I guess we could do pre-sales. Just get people's information and all of that stuff, and then whatever money we make, we just put it back into Ronke and we burn it, or we give it away or some shit. I don't fucking know. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I think the Ronke resurgence needs to happen. We definitely missed something in the timing wise, but there's no time like the present. But I think we're probably moving towards it. Like Ronke rice farming is coming. We got.
And this was a lot of work, bro. This was like,
I was gonna say, that's not like some simple products, bro.
This is a good product. This is like good shit, and we did a lot.
By the time I'm traveling to the Philippines for the Play Summit, bro, I want to be on the plane with that.
We could probably like drop some for YGG for the YGG event,
Yeah.
That's what we can do. Yeah.
But no, listen, bro. Shout out to all the Ronkis out there for sure. we are not gonna give up the ghost on this one. Ronke is still strong, bro. Don't fucking worry about it. But hey, who knows what's out over the hills and across the horizon, bro. Maybe we'll see. Ronke actually smashed that 50 million, bro. 50 million for the Ronkes. We need to do 10 million first, and then 50 M's. Put it down. We need it to happen. But much love, Kagi. I appreciate you coming through. Always, you know what it is, and yeah, grateful for how quickly it was a quick turnaround. So I appreciate you, bro. For real.
No, thank you, bro. Thank you for the invite. I know we talk a lot here when you bring me in, but it's fun. It's always fun to do it, and I really do hope your show grows. I think you should keep doing it. And last thing I would tell you, bro, is like whatever breaking news, you should like spark up a space right away.
Kagi's been saying this for the longest time ever,
I feel
bro.
like it should be the place. I don't like doing spaces, and you know I do breaking news. This game closed down or whatever. Like that should be you right there. Boom, spaces. This breaking. This game shuts down. Let's talk about it. 20 minutes. Boom.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be an hour, but it could be like
Nah, for real, you're all right. There hasn't been all that much as a reason. Yeah, we had games closed down and whatever over the last month or whatever. There hasn't been all that much now, right?
Out for now, but we don't know.
Yeah, no, it could get crazy, bro. Back end of the year, we need something. But no, listen, shout out to everyone that's been here. If you haven't already, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. At 1,000 subscribers, we're giving away some more Ronkies. Shout out to Sushi Nobi for that one. And yeah, if you ain't following us on X, make sure you do so. Also, make sure you're following Kagi on those platforms too. And my boy Theban over here. Also, I'm going to say this, bro. Go ahead and get subscribed to the Juice gaming news as well, bro, because you guys cover external ecosystems. We're doing a bit more of that now as well. Like as hosts, we're doing shows to cover more things across the ecosystem. Juice gaming news is probably going to be a medium that we check into, and obviously ran by Kagi and his team there. So go ahead and support.
Let me show you real quick. Let me show it so people know, because it's a lot of value there, bro. We put a lot of work into this shit.
You're gonna have to give me 5 NFTs to press add to the stage list.
Oh my god! Let me show you. Yeah, so we have a lot of things going on here. People can, we have the how to earn TUT, all that stuff. We break down different interviews. We have a lot of content. It's a lot of content: interviews, guides, videos. Our YouTube channel right now is at 2,000 subscribers. 2,040 subscribers. This is a long time. This is good for content creators. This is something that people should understand. Bro, we started this 2 years ago. I think, let's see, 2 years, oldest video, 2 years ago. We've been grinding for 2 years here, just doing content.
If you're on the YouTube page, you got to click share that instead.
And that's why I'm like, oh, wait, you can't see it?
Yeah, you got
Okay,
it should be in the top on the browser.
Whatever. We have a bunch of gameplay. So if you're trying to find like new games and just kind of see what the gameplay looks like, because a lot of people go into games based on gameplay, this is a good place to go. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, and subscribe.
What's up? All right. We also have a giveaway, right? Kagi's giving away something for us in the chat right now, so you guys get ready. We're about to we broke them.
Run.
We broke them.